ultimately whatever you wish to do in your life. If you want to do anything successfully, you must have clarity, isn't it? How much clarity do you have is all there is, isn't it?
This channel is about gaining clarity and providing action plan. The way to gain clarity is by going through mindfulness and logical thinking to produce action plan. This is why it takes longer time, because I need to explain to you, I need to tell you why I choose this topic and what are the obscurities. After going through the logical thinking and the action plan, I need to wrap up, reiterate the point and make conclusion. Making you understand takes time. Therefore, bear with me and watch to the end. Watch this video to the end to find out. I was involved in the US-China trade from 2002 to 2017, literally witnessing how China grew to become a giant. Because China joined WTO in December 2001, and Donald Trump started the US-China trade war in 2017. In these years, I saw that the US-China trade was in a deadlock from three aspects. I think it is important to talk about it so that both sides can see the deadlock. Once they see it, they can do something about it instead of banging their heads against the wall. I will talk about it in detail. Do watch this video to the end. Now, let's move on to stage 1, mindfulness. Stage 1, mindfulness. The topic today is the deadlock in the US-China trade. In this stage 1, we will go through some facts and informations about this topic. Basically, I saw the deadlock in this US-China trade from three aspects. Number 1, the reality and the perception did not match. This is the outside in. Number 2, the will and the reality did not match. This is the inside out. Number 3, the pricing concept did not adjust well. This is the market. About the perception, the Americans generally believe in what they see. At least give it the benefit of doubt first. Believe first. Later, when they have a good reason not to believe, they will quickly adjust. This is one of the key reasons China grew to be a giant, because the Chinese are really good at creating perception. The Chinese are good at showing all the good things, all that the Americans want to see, especially the passion, the earnestness, even the environmental cleanliness. They can do it. To them, it is the show time. This is about creating a good perception. About the will, the Chinese in general are ambitious. Almost everyone wants to be a boss. They have strong wills, although they do desire to deliver good results and meet the requirements. But in reality, the wills and the capabilities do not match. But they like to think that they can do it. This is why they could promise more than they can do. And the Chinese are smart enough to know that the Americans will help them, because by then, the Americans, their hairs would have been wet. About the costs and pricings. Initially, what attracted the Americans gushing into China was the cost. The overall production costs were low, but the costs growing high faster than they could imagine. In 2008, China literally has lost the advantage of cost competitiveness, but the Americans still press the Chinese for low costs. They did not adjust well. They could not accept that the costs had been skyrocketed, especially for those outsourcing companies. These are the three aspects of deadlock. Let's move on to stage 2 and stage 3, logical thinking and action plan. Stage 2 and Stage 3, logical thinking and action plan. Point number 1, the perception and the reality did not match. This is outside in. In China, most companies became big with certain level of connection behind the scene. That means what you see outwardly do not really represent their real strengths. In reality, some companies are truly big, but some companies are not. The point is, even though they are not truly big, they still can appear to be big. They are good at creating good perception. They are really good at showing themselves passionately, earnestly. They can also show their factory very clean. But all that they show that create a good perception might not be real. I consider this as a deadlock because logically it is not wrong for the Americans to hold this value. Believe first, give it the benefit of doubt. And we can't change the Chinese as who they are. This is a cultural issue. This is the way they create opportunities. The suggestion for action plan is, like a marriage, it takes time to see beyond the facade. What I saw was, in most cases, things happen too quickly. The fault is not on one side because it takes two hands to clap. There is a reason why both sides could agree and close the deal. The most straightforward answer to this is both saw what they want in this venture. I can understand that the Chinese couldn't wait to grab the opportunities. But if they understand that the Americans generally are open for discussion, they will appreciate being upfront. Therefore, if the Chinese are upfront, the business venture could have been built on a more solid ground. In the mentality of the Chinese, they worry about losing the opportunities if they tell the Americans upfront and if they show the reality to them. Sure, I'm not saying that this worry is invalid, but generally the Chinese need to understand that the Americans appreciate being upfront and they will work with you to create a win-win plan. Point number 2, the will and the reality did not match. This is inside out. Pride and ego are in the DNA of the Chinese. I'm not saying that it is not in the Americans. And I'm not saying that it is not good to have pride and ego. Because to a certain extent, these make them appear to be confident. Literally, in most situations, I saw the Chinese proclaim what they can do, and they actually promise to deliver what they proclaim. Even myself, I believe in them. In a hindsight, I do believe that they wanted to fulfill what they have promised and proclaimed, but they couldn't. The mentality is they have a reason, a good reason. And this good reason should put them above all blames. I could not make them see this point because I could not tell the truth. First, they could not see the point despite how I explained. Second, they are not good at handling the truth that could hurt their pride and ego. The suggestion for the action plan is, on the Chinese side, tone down a little bit, continue to ask questions and brainstorm, even though you think you might have already known. Spend time to double confirm what you have already understood. Verbalize what you think you know. Because very likely, what you think could be different from what they think. This will expose the differences in these two parties. If differences exposed, take it with open heart and open mind. On the American side, be more conservative on expectation. Observe longer. Take more time to see the reality. Continue to explain. Explain more, even though you think the Chinese should have understood. Provide more checkpoints. Check on them more subtly. Do the same. Ask more questions and verbalize your concerns. Continue to dig into the technical discussion, even though you think the Chinese might have already known. Clear it all out. Double confirm. Don't leave any room for speculation or assumption. Point number 3, the pricing concept did not adjust well. This is the market. I clearly saw that starting from 2008, China no longer had the cost advantage as they used to have, but the Americans were like beating on the dead horse, particularly those outsourcing companies, because they could no longer earning the margins they wanted. The suggestion for the action plan is apply logical thinking. Think about the cost logically and analyze it logically. I saw two key root causes. Number one, the Chinese could not be transparent to the extent that the Americans could see the full picture. Number two, the cost-saving system did not flow through the entire supply chain, especially the smaller or the less established supplier in the chain. The concept of the cost saving must flow through the entire supply chain. For example, the material cost could be too high if they were to buy it separately without tapping on the economy of scale. In conclusion, I saw that the US-China trade was in a deadlock in three aspects. Number one, the perception and the reality did not match. This is a deadlock because it is not wrong for the Americans to hold the value, believe first, and give it the benefit of doubt. And we can't change the Chinese. This is the culture. This is the way they create opportunities for themselves. In order to unlock this, both sides must see it, and both sides must adjust. Number two, the will and the reality did not match. This is the inside out. This is a deadlock because the Chinese are generally ambitious by nature. With the pride and ego, they always appear to be confident and they are often overconfident. In addition, their mentality in general, they believe that anything could be justified if they have a good reason. That is why they keep explaining. I can't make them see this point because this is in their DNA. They could not see that most of the problems and mistakes could be prevented if they focus on the prevention. All the reasons in a hindsight were not as important because they were, in a way, common sense, could be avoided. Point number three, the pricing concept did not adjust well. This is a deadlock because China has lost their cost advantage as they used to have. This is a reality. China could not be as competitive as before, particularly if you expect to have the same materials and same qualities. However, China could still be competitive in some creative ways, such as using different material with different qualities or different grades, etc. I think it is important to recognize this so that both parties see the deadlocks. Once they see it, they could do something about it instead of banging their heads against the wall. We have gone through mindfulness and logical thinking to produce action plans. This is the way I show you how to gain clarity via reflection process mechanism. I am Alicia Tate, the certified professional coach and HRDF certified trainer. If you need extra help, either one-to-one or in a group, please visit my website, jjecorporatepro.com. I will continuously going through some topics to help you gain clarity via reflection process mechanism. I invite you to think about this. Is it more important for you to get motivated and know what to do but don't know how to do it? Or is it more important for you to truly understand how to do it? Certainly when you know how to do it, you know what to do it, right? Remember this. When you understand, you will be clear. When you are clear, you will believe firmly. When you believe firmly, you will be committed. And when you are committed, you will be passionate. Commitment and passions are the two key drivers for persistency, perseverance, determination, etc. Watch out for my next video, Reflection Time with Alicia Tay. If you find this video is helpful to you, please subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell because you will be notified when I upload a new video. Thanks for watching and see you in my next video.